when I was younger, it was just kind of like every like year there was like a new crush.
Oh yeah? Oh wow. Oh my god. Damn, yeah, no, that was like I think that was like early high school for me when I first discovered her. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to our channel. Welcome to another sitting and talking session.
I guess that's what we're calling it.
Yeah, sitting and talking. So today we're gonna be talking about our sexual awakening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody has gone through it at some point in their life.
Oh yeah.
When you hit puberty, maybe probably when you hit puberty.
Mm.
So yeah, I just want to talk about that today, just to give some insights onto how, I don't know, I guess it happened for the both of us. Like, who was our crush?
Yeah, and why? I guess maybe at that age we don't even know why, but
Yeah.
maybe now that we're older we'll dig into like some reasons why it was that maybe we found that person to be a heartthrob.
This came in lieu of this actually we already had this topic in mind, but since the Disney movie Turning Red just came out recently, it was just like reinforced this conversation even more. It's like, oh, that's a good idea to talk about, and I liked how they did that in the movie. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, highly recommend it. Even if you're an adult, like you don't have to have kids. I mean, we don't have kids, and we still enjoy it. It's just a really like wholesome movie. It's really good.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it. Do you want to start off, or should I start off?
You can start off.
Okay. So I don't remember the exact age it happened, but I do remember like feeling some type of way towards girls. I mean, like I felt like I always had that type of feeling towards girls, but like I never really understood like why I felt a certain way towards them. And let's see, when I was young, I think a lot of times I was like really gravitated towards like Asian women, of course, because I'm Asian. But I do remember there was a point in my life where I was like really attracted to blonde girls.
Yeah.
I think this was during the Britney Spears era, so I think that's part of the reason why.
I'm sure a lot of boys have the same.
So yeah, it was definitely during the time when Britney Spears was popping off. And so when like I heard the song "Hit Me Baby One More Time," and then it was back then like the early 90s, early 2000s. There wasn't that much internet, so you couldn't really go on YouTube. That didn't exist, obviously. You couldn't go online to look at these music videos. So whatever you saw was either on her CD cover, posters, or like music video that you saw on TV.
Like MTV.
MTV when they actually played music videos.
Yeah.
So that was back then, and then I think I remember when I was around 12 or 13, I was looking on TV, or I was just watching TV more often, as you would when you're that young. I was thinking, how come there aren't that many Asian women
like
on
people
TV?
that look like you?
Yeah, and so I was just like, maybe I start realizing that I had a preference. Like I was more attracted towards Asian women, and the only time that I saw any Asian women on television or movies was Lucy Liu. So I think like she was like my first like actual crush, like celebrity crush, we'll say. But I do remember like seeing her and I was like, damn, she's hot. And then when she was in like Charlie's Angels with those two other white girls, and I was like, yeah, I'm more attracted to the Asian chick. Even though Cameron Diaz and like Drew Barrymore were like good looking and like attractive in their own way, like I did like looking at Cameron Diaz a lot because she was blonde. I don't know what it is about blonde girls. Maybe that's why I went like platinum blonde too. But yeah, that was like my whole experience with it.
My experience, I honestly don't remember either. I just remember, like, I do remember having like crushes when I was like in second or third grade. I don't really remember like.
Oh, actually, me too.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Yeah, I don't really like. There was a point where I remember like all of their names because I feel like when I was younger, it was just kind of like Like every like year there was like a new crush.
Oh yeah? Damn.
Yeah, well, just because you like you switch classes, you switch
Oh, that's
classrooms, and then
true.
you got to meet new people, and then you kind of forgot about that other guy because he wasn't in your class anymore. So, I mean, that's just how it was when we were kids. But I don't remember them specifically, but I do remember like two specific men that I was just like, oh yeah, like you don't really know like when you're that young like what you're feeling, but you're like,
Mm.
like they showed in the movie, like you see like the heart eyes and all
Yeah.
that stuff. But I don't remember which one came first, but one of them was of course Mamo-chan. Like if you saw Sailor Moon, you know who that is. So AKA Tuxedo Mask. So him of course, just because I like watching Sailor Moon, you saw how like loving he was towards Usagi, even though she was kind of like a crybaby, and he was just always like there. And then the second one was of course Enrique Iglesias. So I'm sure
Mhm.
for every young like Latin girl, like Enrique Iglesias was one of them. I'm sure if, especially if you remember him having that mole, you know.
Wait,
So
what? He had
yeah,
a
he had a
mole?
mole, but he had it removed.
What? I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah. So there was like this whole thing about that, but whatever. But yeah, even now, like even though he's like way older, he still looks the same. Like he hasn't aged. But yeah, that was yeah. I think those were my first two, I guess, big like celebrity or like TV crushes. But I feel like my taste has definitely changed. I feel like when we were younger, it was just pretty superficial. Like you just saw someone's like, oh, he's cute, you know. But now, definitely, I feel like personality is what I seek more. Like when I see somebody, and even like when you have like your celebrity crushes, it's kind of like it's the character that they're playing that you're
Mm.
kind of like, oh wow, like I feel like that's why you find them more attractive. It's because they're playing a certain character that maybe has qualities that you like because of course they're celebrities. You don't know them. You
Yeah,
just see like how
that's
they
true.
act like on in the TV or like the character that they're playing.
Yeah. When you were talking about like the second grade like crush and stuff
But
like that, that definitely sparked a memory in me. And like even at that time, how old are you at like second grade? Like
oh
eight,
gosh, I don't
seven or
know.
eight or something like
Probably
that?
yeah.
So I remember like even at that age, I was more attracted to the Asian girls in my class
Mm.
than I was to the white girls. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I do remember there was one Filipina girl in my class and like she was super cute. But I honestly didn't know why I liked
Oh
her. It was
yeah.
just the fact that she looked really cute. And I remember telling her, and that did not go over well, as it never does. So yeah, that was quite a traumatic experience. But
Oh,
you live
that's
through it and you
yeah.
learn.
I'm sure that's happened. Like especially like when you I don't know, pass notes. You're like, do you like me? Yes,
Oh
no. And
yeah,
then like they say no, and you're like, oh, like that never happened to me,
yeah,
but I definitely heard about that happening.
that's happened to me.
Yeah. And then I feel like in my school, like there wasn't that much diversity in my school. It was either like white or Mexican. So it was like sometimes I would just go like kind of back and forth. Like sometimes I would have a crush on like white kid, or sometimes it'd be Mexican, things like that. So
I moved
yeah,
around.
oh, yeah.
Like yeah, I moved around. Well, I moved schools. I mean, so I
Mm,
moved from like southeast area of where I used to live, and then at that time it was like the school was pretty diverse. It was like a mix of like
that's nice.
Russians, some Asians, like Mexicans, of course, and
Mm,
then like yes, sprinkle of white kids here and there. But like yeah, it was pretty diverse. I think I was exposed to quite a wide variety of girls
that's nice.
already. Now actually, I have another memory at another school when this was when I first started school when I immigrated to America and I didn't know any English,
Mm,
which sucked even more
yeah.
because you don't know how to deal with these awkward social situations because you're like an outsider pretty much.
Yeah.
And so I remember there was like this one Vietnamese girl in my class and she was the only other Asian girl in that class, I think. And I remember the seating where you have like the four tables pushed together and like each kid sits at a
Oh yeah,
corner.
yeah.
So like I was at that table and like the teachers put me there because the Vietnamese
Yeah.
girl. But it felt like at that time, and I think now that I think back on it, she felt like she didn't want to be like near the foreigner kid. you
Or like
know.
singled out that way too.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess maybe, but like it just felt like she was ashamed of being
Mm.
Vietnamese in a sense. So like, I mean, that could be like a whole nother topic that we can talk about. But like to me, like having another person that understood what I was like
Mhm.
trying to say, because if you don't speak English and you're in like this foreign country and everybody's trying to talk to you and like they're asking you a bunch of questions about stuff,
Mhm.
how do you answer if you can't speak English? Like you
Yeah.
just sit there and you're just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And even if they're making fun of you, you don't know. And
Mm.
at some point, like that's happened to me, and like I started crying and I didn't know what to do. And I remember like she didn't do anything to help, and I was just like, I felt so devastated because I actually kind of liked her,
Oh.
and I was just like, oh man, I like the only other Asian girl that understands me
Yeah.
won't even try to help me, and I'm just like, this is fucked up.
Oh, that is really hard. And
I do okay, so like with that, like I do remember as I was growing up, um, throughout like all my years of being in middle school and high school. I don't know what it was, but like I was always like trying to chase some girl. Like there was always a girl that I'm like going after, but then like I don't know what the reason was or why I wanted to do it, but like it just I don't know. It was just like maybe it was because I was going through puberty and like all these
Mm.
hormones was happening,
Or
but
maybe, do you ever think that like because you went through all of that, where like girls might have not liked you because you were like Asian or something like
probably
that? That
yeah.
you were like, if I was able to be in a relationship with a girl, then that means that like, I am like wanted or something like that. Like,
That's
kind
actually not far
of,
off.
yeah.
It's pretty close to what I was feeling. I think I remember talking to one of my really close friends about this, and I think, oh man, this has been like such buried memories, trauma, bringing it back up. But I remember like talking to them about that, and I was saying like, why don't girls find me attractive?
Mm.
Like what is it about me that is not as good as like these
Mm.
other kids or whatever. And I think at that time, of course, the media didn't help, like portraying Asian
Yeah.
men as being meek and like weak and nerdy and all that stuff. It's either you're nerdy, kung fu, or you, I don't know, throw in stereotype, like one of those things. And that's why girls don't find you attractive. And like for the longest time, I tried so hard to break away from those stereotypes because I'm not as smart as a lot of these, stereotypical Asians are. Like, I'm very terrible at math. Like, I am so bad at math. It's not even like a joke. Like, I'm just very bad at math. So yeah, actually, I was a kung fu Asian, so I grew up doing
Yeah.
that. But that was mostly because I wanted to learn, self defense because I got picked on a lot as a kid. So yeah, that helped boost my confidence, and like I became really close friends with people I went to kung fu with, and that pretty much shaped and molded me into the person that I am. That I was able to land me a Latina
Well,
because like she when we first started dating and like when we first met, she thought I was a fuck boy,
yeah.
and I was just like, how? Like, did I give off that vibe? Like, I don't even know what that is. But I think it was just because I was really comfortable with like how I felt about being me. Like
Mm.
I think before like being friends with all those people that I was friends with, I was very timid and very shy and I didn't really know how to communicate with anybody. And so anytime, this was my go-to thing. I remember in high school, whenever I tried to talk to any girl or anybody, I always tried to not say as much and try to act cool.
Just be
It's
mysterious.
been mysterious, try to be aloof and all that stuff, but I don't know what the fuck I was doing. So it was just like I felt now I think back on it, I was like, man, I look like an idiot. And like I always hear that line from like my uncle and some of my friends was like, just be yourself. But what does that mean?
Mm.
When you're in high school, you're still trying to discover who you are.
Yeah.
And you don't really know like what be yourself really means. And
That's
like I can't tell you how important that advice was. Like thinking back on it, that was probably the best advice they ever gave me. But as a kid, you don't understand because
Mhm.
you didn't really develop like this personality yet until you've gone through some experiences. And having gone through the experiences I've gone through with dating and like, you know, being rejected and all that stuff and being Asian, uh, like it made me more comfortable with the feeling of like, oh, it's fine. You know, if anything happens, it's cool. If it doesn't, then that's fine. And so like I became more aware of how like others perceive me, but then like I was also very comfortable with it. Like I didn't really care anymore. Like I got to the point where I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons, like, after I got to know you a little bit better and saw you, like, interact with other people, that I was like, oh, okay, like, he's actually, like, cool, like, a nice guy, you know? But, yeah, I feel like I never really experienced that. I feel like I never really experienced rejection, but then I also, like,
Damn.
I never put myself out there, though, you
Okay.
know? So, like, even when I had, like, a crush on a guy or something like that, it was just, like, I was the only one that knew. It was just
Mhm.
kind of like I never really like let them know. There were times where, yeah, like there was like some flirting, but then like nothing ever happened after that. Just because I also like never was like took that step to like ask somebody out or something like that. There were instances where I did like, like at least in my high school there was like these little gifts you can send out like for Valentine's Day where kids
Oh
like for
yeah.
a club that they were like fundraising they would like put together some like candy and little packages and then deliver them to those people during class. I remember I did that to a guy, but I never said like, "Oh, I like you" or anything like that. I just sent it to him, and I think I can't remember what I wrote down. It was just like an inside joke or something like, "Oh, thank you so much for like helping me with this" or something like that. But it
Wow.
wasn't like I was like, "Oh my god," and I was so nervous. But then just nothing ever happened. So like, okay, I take that as like he's not interested. So
Oh.
so then I guess that's a form of rejection. But there was like never like really like said it
Well, I
directly.
guess yeah, but like yeah, you never had anybody directly tell you no.
Yeah.
I've had that, and
Mm.
I've had that being told to me so many times.
Yeah.
But like I remember hearing, okay, so at the time, like this was also in high school. The only people that I watched on YouTube that I found interesting were Asian people, and at
Mm.
the time it was only Timothy De La Ghetto, the Wong Fu production people, Kev Jumba, and Ryan Higa.
Oh yeah.
So those are only four like major people, and I remember when they all met, and I was like, "Whoa, cool! Worlds are colliding." But I remember this one advice Tim said, and he still says it to this day, where like that like if you find somebody that's attractive and you want to talk to them, then go talk to them. But like the feeling of getting rejected, that like last like maybe a
That's true.
day, couple hours at
Yeah.
most, whatever. But the feeling of like, what if
Yeah,
that would
that's
like last
true.
forever? And I remember hearing that, and I was like, oh man, that's so true.
Yeah.
So I always like shoot my shot. Like I always try that, and then if they reject me, that's fine. Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna take it personally.
Mm.
Um, maybe I will at some point at that time, but
Yeah.
like I'll move on, and it's like it's all right. There's plenty of fishes in the sea.
Yeah. That is some really good advice, especially like when you're like a teen and you have all these hormones and then there's like that anxiety of like, oh my god, like do they like me? Do they not like me? Like we're flirting and then all this stuff that goes into your mind and then that eventually like you're kind of like paralyzed by that fear
Oh
of just
yeah.
of rejection. But then once you actually do it and you realize like, oh, okay, like yeah, it hurt, but at least like now I know.
But yeah, so that was kind of like my whole experience throughout high school, and then in college. I think in college it was less of being afraid, but like it
Mm.
was just like, oh man, too many things happening,
Yeah.
and then I was just like, I don't know what to focus on, and I remember still chasing after girls a lot, and I was just like, I was like in and out of relationships a lot, and I remember also, uh, like thinking, how do people just date so casually?
Mm.
Like I've never dated casually. I've always been in like relationships.
Yeah.
And I remember after I broke up with like I guess my longtime girlfriend at the time, it was like probably like a year,
Mm.
maybe if that, and then we broke up and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this dating thing a try. So then I think at that time also is when Tinder was like popping off. And so
Um.
then like I was on that a lot and then, I would go on dates and it was cool. Like this was very uh validating for me when I was like on Tinder. Like you would know right away, like whether or not somebody likes you or not. And so I think like when you get that like, oh, you've been matched with so and so, and it's like not an Asian person, and you're like, oh shit, okay, other people do find me attractive. And so I remember like having that experience, and that kind of gave me a confident booster in like, you know, of being myself and like, you know, not trying to like pretend to be somebody else. And I remember one of my really close friends like telling me, if you can pretend to be somebody, like, you know, fake it until you make it, it's gonna be hard down the line with whoever you're gonna be with, because you're gonna try to keep up this personality they fell in love with or they are attracted to, but then when you like break out of it and then you start being like yourself and you're more comfortable, then they're gonna be like, what happened to this guy and whatever.
Because they weren't really like in love with the real you. It's just somebody else who you were portraying. Just like when you see in celebrities, celebrity crushes and stuff. But yeah, for that, like to be honest, like I never understood why like the whole stereotype there was with like Asian men and all that stuff. Like I honestly didn't know. Like I've always been like I didn't really even know that I was like I guess interested in Asian culture just because I've always like liked like anime and things like that. Like I started watching Sailor Moon and I didn't really even know that there was like a whole genre that it was just called anime.
And I was an Asian guy.
So I used to like all that stuff, and then I think that's how like watching anime, and that's how I kind of stumbled upon like K-pop and like J-pop and like K-dramas and all that stuff. And even like growing up, like there weren't that many Asian kids in my high school, but even then like I think there was only like one Asian guy that I had a crush on. But even then, I didn't like think about it that way. It was just like because I liked their personality, you know. It wasn't like, oh, you're Asian, so I only like you because of that, you know. But I always thought like all of the things that you mentioned, like the stereotypical things about Asians that you mentioned earlier, are things that I actually found attractive. Like you know, like whether you're nerdy or whether you know kung fu or any of that, it's like I don't see that as like a downside. You know, I just see that more as like of a nice I guess trait. Yeah. So
I feel like that's kind of how a lot of people are perceiving it nowadays because, you know, of course, BTS has helped the culture so much. Literally, like, launched the Asian culture into the forefront of media, and like, you know, they're saying like, you know, Asians can be sexy, Asian can do all this stuff. Of course, if you're Asian, you know this. Like you've been in it and you understand, and you hang around other Asians that do all this stuff, and we've gone through it all. And now, like, everybody else knows it. And I remember, like, Eugene on the Try Guy saying this in, like, one of the podcasts. And, like, you know, he's like, I've been telling y'all about all this, like, for the longest time, but now everybody's on this train. And it was just like, yeah, I feel like everybody's just jumping on this bandwagon because of, like, how popular it is these days. But back then, like, when you're living that life and you're feeling it, like, it wasn't the business. Like, it was not fun. But now I think like thanks to the, you know, BTS and Squid Game, like that, and like of course Parasite, like, you know, all these great movies, and a lot of it stems from like Korean culture, and like I feel like that created like a whole subcategory of like women being attracted to like Korean men, and like I remember seeing this on Instagram and TikTok a lot, and it was like. There's like a debate, I think, among the community of Asians about how, like, you know, if you're dating like somebody that's just into you because you're Asian, because they're fetishizing you as an Asian person, like, Asian women get fetishized all the time, like, by any kind of race, because again, like how they were portrayed in the media and like all this other stuff. But if you ever met an Asian girl and like actually get to know them, they're not like that at all. They're so ruthless and they are so mean. Like I've been rejected and cussed out by Asian girls a lot more often than I have been by other like girls. And it's just like I don't think that's like part of the reason why I don't date Asian girls. Like I have like had several like serious relationships with Asian women, but like I don't know, like I just didn't want to stick in that category for me. Like I always felt attracted to whoever had a really nice personality, and for me, like if they can make me laugh like genuinely, like I'm going for that. Like you don't understand, like you can't tell by how shy and timid she is, but when she's with me, like just us two, she is like the most funniest person I've ever. She's like the funniest person I've ever had a conversation with, and she always makes me laugh at like the most randomest time because she's always doing something so random. And I think the funny thing is that she's only comfortable with me doing that stuff. But like when she's with like our other friends, she's not like that at all. She's like completely different. And I remember like asking them too. I was like, "Do you guys know Jen?" And then they're like, "What do you mean? Yeah, we're friends." I'm like, "But do you know her? Like, do you know the real Genesis?" And then they're like, "What does that even mean?" I'm like, "You don't know her. She's not like this all the time. Like, she's only like this when like she's maybe a little drunk. Like, if she has like a little bit of drink, and then she's more comfortable, as you know, everybody
I
is."
feel like maybe like tipsy Jen is actually like how I am with you, like, all the time.
Yeah, but like to me, like I'm like that's kind of cool that she keeps it like kind of a secret. But like for me, like I'm like this to everybody.
Yeah,
I'm like
that's true.
I have no filter with whoever I'm talking to. Sometimes I have to like really think about it.
Sometimes I'm just like, oh, like I know you, and I'm just like bracing for it, like he's about to say something.
I have to like think about it, like consciously think. It's like okay, maybe this isn't the situation to be like saying whatever I'm thinking, because a lot of times I'll be thinking something and I'll just say it, or sometimes I'll say it and I'm like, did I just say that? But yeah, so that's kind of like how things have been, and I think part of that was because like I became friends with a lot of like white people.
Nice.
I mean, to me, I remember when I was friends with those people I went to kung fu with, like majority of them were white, of course. Like that's the whole thing. I remember thinking, you know what? I think the best way for me to get out, to put myself out there, is to act like a white person.
Oh yeah.
You know, because like at the time, my friends, since they were white, they were more, I don't know, like
I can see that, yeah.
comfortable being like wherever. Like they're just like comfortable throwing their weight around, like kind of like, you know, I'm here, like pay attention to me, kind of thing. Like I was never like that, trying to get attention to myself. But like whatever they were doing, I was like, okay, they were more like aware of the situation. They were more comfortable being in their own skin. Mm-hmm. So I just tried to reverse that into myself, and I was just like, okay, what would so and so do in this situation? And so I would do that, and then yeah, I ended up being this.
Yeah.
Which then eventually turned into my personality, which is like kind of like how, you know, a lot of my friends were back then. And I'm like very appreciative of them for being comfortable around me and like allowed me to be who I am. And it was one of those things like, you know, you got to surround yourself with people that don't put you down for being goofy in a sense. Yeah. You know, like I was just always goofy for no reason, and like having my friends kind of like laugh at it and like also kind of like laugh with me and do all this stuff and like encourage me to do it more. And it's just like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
So,
it probably helps that they were also like interested in part of like Asian culture.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So that way they were like maybe like didn't put you down or anything like that too. But yeah, that's why like I never really had any white friends in high school just because I did have experience where it just felt like they didn't like me because I was like Mexican, and like I did have some experiences where like kind of try to be friends, but then it just felt like when they were just with me, it was just like the two of us. It was like fine, but then once like their friends saw us together, they like kind of ignore me. So then that's when I realized like, oh, okay, like I know that this is not like the kind of friendship that I want. But then in school, I was just always like really just focused on like school. So like especially like after high school, like once I got to college, like I didn't even like have time for guys. I was just like working and going to school. It was like work and school or like vice versa. But like dating wise, like I think I only dated like white guys for a while. Yeah. Just because they were like the only ones that were like approached me.
Oh, that's true.
You know, like I never really had like any Mexicans like actually like ask me out. There was like flirting involved, but then like there was never like really anything that came out of that. And then part of me was sometimes like, do I want to date like a Mexican guy just because experiences that I've had like with like my family, you know, and then seeing how like they were sometimes at school too. Just some of them just didn't care about school at all, and then I was like, "Ugh, I don't want like to be with somebody who's gonna be like a troublemaker or anything like that. Just because like ways that I saw that they were acting in school, or just experiences that I had like with family members, where I was like, oh, I don't want a man that's gonna treat me like, I saw a lot of my cousins and uncles like treating their wives. There's like this thing in Mexican culture that I was just like, I don't know if I want that. But I was never like, oh, I'm not gonna date Mexican guys. It's just that they never like approached me. So then I was just like, okay, like just like whoever was willing to talk to me and actually like ask me out, if I ended up liking them, I'd be like, okay, sure. Like,
I think that was the other thing I learned as I was like, starting to date more throughout high school and stuff. Mostly from watching YouTube, of course. You gotta live vicariously through your heroes. And a lot of times it was from Tim. He was always like dating such gorgeous looking women, and they weren't Asian. I was just like, damn, the only Asian dude is dating, or on YouTube, is dating outside his race, and I was always thought that was so amazing. It's more common nowadays. Like back then, it was just like so rare to see like an Asian guy with somebody that wasn't like an Asian person. And I remember him saying like in one of his videos that if you ever see an attractive girl, well, one, approach her, because uh 9 times out of 10 she doesn't get approached often because men are usually intimidated by how good looking she is. And I remember him saying that, and I think there was another video of like somebody interviewing like attractive women and saying like, a lot of times I would like men to approach me more, but like I think they're just too intimidated by how like good looking I am, and sometimes they don't even know that they're good looking.
yeah.
And so I think that is the other thing that men don't think about, especially Asian guys like me. I remember like, seeing a really pretty girl and just being like instantly not knowing what to do, and I'm just like, oh my God. And I'm like, I can't, I'm like completely out, like she's completely out of my league. And I never wanted to try because I didn't want to get rejected for one, and then also because I was Asian. And so, I remember like feeling that way all the time. And so I think a lot of times I was too scared to shoot my shot when I was younger. And like, even though it wouldn't have done anything, like if anything, I probably would have been able to date these girls. But I remember like seeing that, oh, I think another question like somebody asked was like, oh, timer's up. Wow, that was 30 minutes already. But like somebody asked like these women, it's like, would you date an Asian guy? And they're like, yeah, I would love to date an Asian person, but I don't get approached by them as much. And I was like, there's the problem. Asian dudes don't do the approaching, and so that's kind of like what ended up happening.
Yeah, you just gotta shoot your shot.
Yeah, you shoot your shot like Drake. All right, so since we're almost out of time, we came up with I guess game. We didn't really come up with it.
Yeah.
We're just taking Ellen's idea, and now we're gonna put it towards our podcast video idea. It's a would you rather situation.
Yes.
So we're gonna do that, and then I made a list, and it is a long list. Here, I'll show you real quick. This is my list of celebrities for Jen to pick.
Yeah.
Would you rather?
And would you rather, we'll just leave it up to you. It's kind of like what Ellen does on her show.
Yeah.
Or what she did before.
And I was like watching it, and I was just like, would you rather what? Like, well, what's the rest of this question?
It's just would you rather, okay?
Yeah, and like the celebrities were also asking the same question, so I was okay. It wasn't just me. Do you want to start off, or do you want me?
Okay, I'll start off if you want. So, the game is like I'll just name a celebrity. I'll name 2 celebrities first, and then whichever one he picks, then we'll leave them on there and then switch to the next celebrity. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'll put pictures up in the video in the editing. Remember.
Okay. So first one, I'm gonna start off like with a hard one.
Okay.
Jennifer Lopez or Shakira?
Oh, damn.
Would you rather?
Oh, that is hard. Damn, this is tough. Okay, between 2 like major Latina icons. I'm gonna have to go with Shakira.
Oh, really? I thought you
Yeah.
were gonna say J-Lo.
I mean,
but
yeah, I would like. I mean, J Lo is like super fine, but like, I don't
she,
know. I think Shakira, like, I like the way she dances, even though
those
sometimes,
hips don't lie.
yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna go with Shakira.
Okay, Shakira. So between Shakira and Dua Lipa, who would you
Oh
rather?
man,
You know who I would pick.
I would. Okay, I would go with Dua Lipa on this one.
Okay.
She's super hot.
Oh, there's another hard one. I wouldn't even know. Dua Lipa or Rihanna?
That is hard. Uh, Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Yeah, I'll take Rihanna.
Rihanna or Hyolyn?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Uh, I'll go Hyolyn because yeah, I like the way she dances too.
Yeah. Okay. Hyolyn or Doja Cat?
I have to stick with Hyolyn.
Hyolyn. Okay. This is going back to your what, maybe middle school, elementary school days. Hyolyn or E Hyori?
Oh wow. Oh my god. Damn. Yeah. No, that was like. I think that was like early high school for me when I first discovered her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? High
When the
school?
4 minute song came out.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that was 10 minutes, right?
10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. My bad. 4 minutes is like somebody else's song. Uh,
And she still looks great.
yeah,
now,
she was
like,
amazing still.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't know. I haven't seen her in much stuff, so I'll probably stick with Hyolyn.
Okay. Hyolyn or Scarlett Johansson?
Oh. I want to stick with Hyolyn because she can dance.
Hyolyn, yeah.
I'm like
she
attracted
can
to
dance.
people that are like know how to move their body, and Jen can move.
Okay. Okay. Hyolyn or Jessica Alba?
Oh my god, Jessica Alba was my crush also back in high school.
Yeah, and yeah, she still looks amazing.
Yeah, she's
I don't
like
know how she
Jessica
does it.
Alba is like she's hot. I'm gonna use what you said. She looks like she can be cute and sexy.
Okay.
But like at the time, I remember when like she was the only light skin. Well, not only, but at the time she was like really like popping off, especially in Sin City when she was like dancing on the stage. I was like, damn, who's that? But
I think I know who's gonna win.
is there more?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I'll stick with Hyolyn again.
Okay. Hyolyn or Gemma Chan?
Ooh, she's like sophisticated.
Oh yeah,
She's like the type that you just want to hold hands with and walk down the street. You know what I mean?
So, Gemma Chan for the one. I mean, do you want me? I can come up with more, but those are the ones I have on the list.
Hyolyn was very close.
Oh yeah,
I think
she
I would've stuck
almost
with her.
took the win. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how many you did, but I have quite a list.
Okay, I think I had like 11 or something.
Okay.
Or
well,
no, I think it was 15.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut some of these items out.
Dang, you had that many.
Yeah,
like it
it's
took me
quite
a
a
while
lot.
to come up with the list.
It didn't take me long at
I
all.
think I picked girls that I find attractive.
All right. Okay, some of these guys I also find attractive. Let's just put that out there. Okay. Of course, we're gonna start off with. Let's do this.
Oh man, why is my heart racing?
Let's do. Okay. Let's do. Jimin and Enrique Iglesias.
Oh my gosh. Enrique was like my first love. And he's ageless, but man, Jimin can dance.
Right? It's like something about people that can
Yeah,
dance.
like he's such a good dancer. Oh god, this one's a hard one. I think I'm gonna go with Enrique.
Really? Wow.
Well, just because like he's been around for so long, and like his eyes, man, like
That's
I don't
a
know,
shocker,
they're just,
actually. I'm actually like really surprised. All right. Okay. Let's do Enrique or Gang Yu from the Train to Busan and Squid Game. All
he
the
has
girls.
such a nice smile. Like he's like cute and sexy. I think I'll stick with Enrique.
Okay. All right. Enrique or Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan has such a nice smile.
Yeah, he has a
like
really
those
nice smile.
teeth. I don't know. But I think I'll stick with Enrique.
Okay. Enrique or Topher Grace or
Oh my,
Eric Foreman.
oh my gosh.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people might not find him like maybe like a heartthrob, but when I saw him on that 70s show as Eric, like he was just such a smart ass, and I love that about him.
When
Like,
she told me this, I was so shocked and I almost fell out of the chair like laughing. I was just
no,
like,
like
what?
Eric Foreman, like yeah, I don't know. I just found him like so charming. Like he was just so funny. I would go with Topher Grace as Eric Foreman. I guess Eric Foreman, just because I think I would have like more fun with him. Like I would just laugh all the time.
Alright. Foreman or Lakeith Steinfeld?
Ooh, he just has that voice though.
Yeah,
Like,
I like the way he speaks. He's got a really nice voice.
oh man, I don't know. And he seems like he's just chill. Like,
He's so cool
yeah.
without trying. So funny.
Oh man. Maybe I'll go with Lakeith.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
Damn,
I
Topher.
like that.
Topher Grace got dethroned by Lakeith. Alright, well, okay. Lakeith or Chris Hemsworth?
Ooh. I like Chris Hemsworth. I think he looks nice. But I don't know. Sometimes I feel like he might just be too buff. Like,
He's too buff.
like I don't know. There's just. I mean, he seems like at least like what we've seen on TV. Like he's really funny. But no, I think I'd stick to like with Lakeith.
All right. Okay, let's try the other Hemsworth, Liam.
No, I'll still stick with Lakeith.
Okay.
Between Liam and Chris, I think I would pick Chris though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go down the list. What about Lakeith and Tuxedo Mask? I'm surprised you didn't throw anybody that non-fiction people in there. Wait, fiction, fictional characters in there.
Well, I thought about it, but I wasn't sure. Like, is there an anime character that you?
I don't know. You'd have to name someone else to think about it.
Oh man, there's a lot of history with Tuxedo Mask. He kind of like, I feel like, brought up that image of like what like a good guy would be like, you know?
Unrealistic.
Unrealistic expectations. I think I'll go with still Lakeith because in a season of Sailor Moon, he left Usagi to go study abroad, and like that broke her heart. So
why is there a backstory? Oh my god! All right, that's funny. Lakeith or Tom Holland?
Oh, Tom Holland is such a cutie though. I don't know. I feel like if I was younger, I think I like Tom Holland's personality.
With that accent?
Yeah, with that accent, he seems like he's quick on his feet, but then he's also like really like ditzy. Like I like how like honest he is.
Yeah.
Like he can't lie. Like I really like how he just like.
It almost feels like he doesn't have a filter.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I think that's what I like about him. Like he's just like himself. I feel like that is how he really is. Oh man, that was hard. But how old is Tom Holland? Like I feel like he's just too young.
I think he's also like 25, 24,
Oh,
or 26, 25, 26. Something like that. I don't know how old a lot of these guys are, so.
I like Tom Holland Spider-Man. Tom Holland Peter Parker.
Okay.
I feel like I just like those qualities. Let's go with Tom.
Alright. Lakeith got dethroned by Tom. Alright, let's see. Alright, Tom or Rain?
Oh. Gosh, that's a hard one.
Rain's attractive.
Oh man.
And he can dance. And he can sing.
Yeah, I think I would.
And he can cook.
Rain.
I just learned this recently. Yeah. Alright. I guess Rain wins. Rain won.
Oh yeah.
I probably would pick Rain too.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's
you had
the
a
game.
Lot.
I know it was quite a list, but it was definitely fun to hear you go on the backstory of all these characters.
I feel like a lot of it is just has to do more with like personality, or they're like certain traits that I like if they're a good dancer or a good singer, you know, things like that. But
I think I know a type. It's like somebody that has good personality that can move their body, and yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that makes you laugh.
That makes you laugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's been sitting and talking conversation
Mm.
today
Yeah.
about sexual awakening and dating. Hope you enjoyed this episode and check out our last. I'm gonna try to point in the right direction here. This way, top left corner, or is it this way? You know what? Top left corner. Check out that one and check out our other videos. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to our channel, and we will catch you guys in the next one.
See ya. Thanks
Peace.
for tuning in. Bye.